So why is Cancer Cancer? In other words, what do the words Cancer, the sign of Cancer, have to do with having cancer? So this is another video in my series of homophones, words that sound the same but are spelled differently and have different meanings, but they sound the same. Thus the homo, same, and phone, which is the phonetics, which comes from the ancient Cana-Phoenician Hebrew language, the El language, from ancient Cana-Phoenicia, which is the Aleph Bet. So therefore, the English, Latin, Greek, German, whatever, it's going to be an Aleph Bet, or an alphabet language that comes and stems from the root source of the phonetics, or the sounds. So, also, there are what are known as homonyms, and a homonym basically is the homo, the same, name. So they're spelled exactly the same, but they have different meanings. And thus, they teach us, the sheeple of the world, to not relate words in our language and don't think, just memorize and repeat, and everything will be great. When I have proven that there's actually a code without question, our whole language is a code, and I will begin to decipher it as we go through this series of homophones to prove just one aspect of that. So you can watch my other videos, like I said, where I show countless examples of homophones that actually have the same etymological root. And the truth is that cancer, having cancer, the disease, and the sign of cancer are etymologically rooted as well. And I'll show you right now exactly why that is. So, as you see, the word cancer, the disease, and cancer, the sign, are not only pronounced exactly the same, they are spelled exactly the same. And the reason for that is because they are etymologically exactly the same. The same concept, the same idea, the same foundation. So most people would assume that the word cancer and having the disease cancer and the zodiac sign Cancer have absolutely nothing to do with one another. But the truth is, they are named the same because they are 100% related to one another, which is why we name them the same name. Because in this world, we name things from other things that we relate them to. Nothing is just name something for the sake of naming it. No, every single letter and every single word in all of our language that we name is named for a specific reason. So, let me explain why cancer is cancer and why they are exactly the same. So let's begin by first taking a look at the zodiac sign, or the house of Cancer. So, Cancer is the fourth astrological sign in the zodiac. It represents when the sun is in the constellation of Cancer. And Cancer is a sign that has an element of water. Okay, it is also a cardinal sign. And the house of Cancer is ruled, or its ruler is the moon. And of course, Cancer, its detriment is the complete polar opposite, which is the house of Capricorn, the planet Saturn. So when we look at the zodiac, we can actually view it in two different ways. So people view it as above or so below. And I like to do the zodiac, or show the zodiac, by viewing it the same way that time passes by, or like a clock, so that you understand the hours or the Horus of the sun as it walks and steps and goes through time throughout the day. throughout the seasons of the annual year, which is the sun and the moon, the solar and the luna, the two pillars of the zodiac, or time and our seasons. So the annual year is divided, or the bai, or the dia, is cut in two by the solstice, the winter and summer solstices, thus marking the time when the sun stands still. Although time is still going forward, it appears to not be moving any more forward nor backwards, but yet standing still, the solstice. And this marks the time of the house of Cancer and the house of Capricorn. Cancer, like the clock, is down at the 6 o'clock position. And if you want to view it, it could be up at the 12 o'clock position, the most high. So, like I said, I do mine with the same way the clock is. So we're going to look at it as the 6 o'clock position. So 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock mark the time of division, the separation. Thus, even the zodiac is named after the zoo, or the animal, dia, the animal cut in two. So it's the whole meaning of the Bible, by the way, as well, the covenant. But the division of the zodiac, or the animal cut in two, is exactly why Cancer has the symbol of the 69, and the crab, by the way, which I'm going to explain in a moment. But the 69, the symbol of the twin nines, sixes, whatever you want to look at, it's marking the zodiac, or time, the 6 hours and 6 hours, or the 6 months and 6 months. When you look at the zodiac or a clock, time is half right side up and half upside down. The time of inversion, the opposite, the opposer of. So the 69 represents the two seasons, or the bi-seasons of the year. So we'll come back to the symbolism of the 69 a little later. But why is the house of Cancer, why is it related to a crab? I mean, what does a crab have to do with Cancer? So, as I've explained before, every house of the zodiac, all 12, each house is an anthropomorphic character of an animal. So, as the sun travels through the season of the year, or throughout the day and night, it is characterized by animals, the anthropomorphism of an animal. So, of all the animals that could have been chosen to represent the anthropomorphic character of the house of Cancer, which is the time when the sun is at its solstice in the most high point of the year of summertime. So at this point, the character that they chose to represent is the character of the crab. But why? I mean, seriously, what does a crab have to do with what I just explained about Cancer and the sun and everything? Well, it was chosen for very specific reasons, and it has absolutely everything to do with what I have been explaining to you. And that is the division, the time of the season when the annual year is split in two. So it has to do with the crab, which is a creature of the underworld that comes to the surface once again. The crab is the creature of division, where the watery realm meets the dry realm of the sun land. So this division, this divide of the two realms is why the crab is used. Because the crab, like the sun, does not move forwards nor backwards. It moves sideways. So, like I was explaining about the sun, it doesn't go forwards nor backwards at that time of the solstice when it's standing still. But time doesn't stand still, it's still moving. So what is it doing? It's moving sideways. Okay? So a crab, his movements are back and forth sideways, not forwards nor backwards. Okay? So that's why, one of the reasons why the crab is chosen, the element of water and of land, the division of the two. So the crab actually goes back to ancient mythology, Karkinos and the kraken, the animals that are represented from the primordial abyss. The creatures of the sea, as I've explained many times, is the element of the goddess. The sights of all the different clams and seashells, Venus, all has to do with the mother goddess, her waters. And of course the sights and the smells of the goddess of the ocean, the fishy ocean, self-explanatory. So the ancient kraken, Karninos, the crab, is a story that relates to Hercules, which I've explained before is once again the sun, or Sam's son, the one with the two pillars, the twin pillars, and the sun god, who goes through the 12 labors of the 12 houses of the zodiac. Thus why Hercules must slay the Hydra, and Hera, the goddess, sends the great crab to try to help Hydra win the fight, the 9-headed Hydra, thus Crab the 6 and Hydra the 9. And Hercules, the sun god, battles and fights and steps on, because the sun god is the skywalker, the one that walks, which is why Jesus says, "Follow me," as he goes on his journey, the traveling fool. So, this is the character of nature, the anthropomorphic character of nature, the sun going through the seasons, and the moon. So, Hercules steps on and kicks, as one story goes, or Hera puts, the crab, Cancer, into the sky. The constellation of Cancer, the crab. So the crab, the creature of the sea, the creature of the division of land and water, must also deal with the back and forth, sideways ebb and flow of the tide, high tide and low tide. Once again, the bipolar opposites. So the tide is controlled by what? The moon. The moon controls the tide, the waves, the movement of the water. Thus, the moon controls water and the element of water. And as you know, the earth is roughly 72% covered in water, as a human is roughly 72% water. So it controls the mood of people, humans and animals, full moons and new moons, which are black moons, quarter moons, the different phases of the moons. But, full moon is known for the lunacy. Okay, the moon gives us our thoughts, thought, our sanity, or sane, Selene. So, Luna, the moon god or goddess, is the one that controls the aspect of the water, thus giving the control of the moods. And that's why people get crabby. Okay? That's another expression that you'll understand now. And also, the house of Cancer is known as a very emotional house. Very emotional people. The mind, the mood, everything is controlled by the moon phases.